Okay, so here we are again, the second part of Challenge 18 webinar, and this is amazing because this is really about collaboration, which is the foundation to turn imagination into a creation. And that's so much about it, like, like coming up with a new language. It's like really fine-tuning, synchronizing our thoughts. So please go ahead Robert, and share your PowerPoint and take us through this. And Nuri, also, I want to see your game. This is beautiful, and let's see what we come up with. So Robert, please go ahead and share your screen.
I think I might be able to go back or just show it as is now, and you guys say like this is a frame that we want to dive
Let's go
a little
to number
bit.
three. Number three. I tell you, when I saw love in the middle, I said life is love. Some people say life is a trauma, life is a challenge. I said life is love. So this is beautiful because it's really all about, in 4 words, the intellectual management of human emotions. And human emotions, as we know, it's so hard to manage. This is why people go to war, because of this. And this is why, ideologies, they kind of, come and take over cultures and civilizations. So I really love this slide, how you put love and sexuality. I mean, Elena, right? The Troy, fell because of, this is how we say it, because of her beauty. So yeah.
Thanks, Sharon. I can give you some feedback how it got there, because originally the Wheel of Co-Creation by Barbara Max Hubbard, it includes these 12 sectors on the outside, but this was not there. And after going through cycles of 2 years with different groups, with United Earth, we sort of recreated this wheel. And with World Summit, 3 years later, we put love and sexuality in the middle because we felt something was missing. And this is affecting all of us. So this is a nice example of the team, like Svetlana mentioned. Everybody brings their unique wisdom, and it's also sort of about timing, divine timing. Sometimes things just fall into place at some point. So and this wheel is also created in one of these phases where we wanted to show the feedback loops and how these sectors affect each other.
Actually, I like this even more because you put sexuality aside. It's more about self-love, and then the family, community, and planetary. So it's like I would put those also in rings. Maybe in rings, it must start with self-love in the core.
This
and having the understanding that I am the whole humanity. I am the whole humanity. We are all, like you say, interconnected.
Thanks. This was created with International Children's Month, another group that brought in the wisdom. But thanks for that. Do you want me to skip through the slides and then you say like, hey, this is something we want to learn more about?
I have a question for Svetlana. If I don't know if you can answer. I know demographics change. The surveys show that there are more, like globally, there are more male than female, like under the age of 19. But in Russia, when you Google, you see there are like 10 million more female than males. And now because of the war, like also there is a growing challenge that, so many husbands, they just, maybe there is something you could share, you want to share in that regard?
You're asking Svetlana?
Yes, Svetlana.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk about regeneration and collaboration, and and so maybe you have something you want to share, because like I know this is very emotionally very something that we could not understand outside of Ukraine.
Yeah, Sharon, that in fact, I don't care about the population of Russia because they are our enemies and they are harmful nation who just trying to invade as many lands as possible. Just the one question, what for? Yeah, if the price of those lands are too high, sorry. And in fact, a lot of their men die on our territories, but we are more sorry, yeah, and not more, but we are really sorry for our Ukrainian soldiers who die. Too many of them have already died, and almost once a week, or at least twice a week, we meet a body of a dead soldier in my little town, yeah, and we will face this problem, I mean, as a lack of men per woman, yeah, rather soon, because our men die in great amounts. And the only reason for it is just a stupid one, because of the war, they give their lives. And families are left without men, and such problem as regeneration will be one of number one, yeah, on the list of our problems. And it's really a bad one, a terrific one, a terrible one, sorry, and it's our sorrow and our grief.
Yeah, but there is something I want to say. I ask you this now because you see here planetary love. Planetary love, it's really about, I'm not expecting you to be Gandhi, like some people go to isolate and meditate in the wood, and then they just, after 4 days, they peek behind the bushes to see if somebody's watching. I don't know, it's in our nature, but I'm asking you about planetary love, being able to love the whole humanity. Like, is it how to teach children? Because you don't want to teach the new generation about hate. That's why, we talk here about regenerative development goals or collaborative actions. So I'm asking you, from where you are, from this place of pain and anger, how to grow, because you are anger. I could not even understand if I wanted.
Yeah, you mean how to use this kind of love, yeah? Just to show open examples, and to show that despite we live in the country which is at war, we are able to sympathize, we are able to love, yeah? It does not matter, for example, I don't mean that you should take somebody's husband and to love him, yeah? Just to show them that it's possible to love and to be loved by people, not, for example, just in your family or in among your relatives, but in the circle of school, I mean, in the classrooms there, and together with your neighbors, just to respect, to support. Am I in the right way, or maybe I am just overload?
Can I challenge you, Svetlana, with a very difficult question?
Okay.
If there is a Russian teacher also teaching children, and she wants to talk to you about education and love, is it something that you will be willing to talk with such a person that you consider your enemy? Like,
you know that I'm convinced that I would turn down this kind of conversation, because I don't want to speak to her. Maybe in some years, when this grief will settle a little bit down, yeah, and when we have a little bit peaceful life without them on our territory, maybe then, but not now.
And what if you could organize 50 teachers from, for example, you know, in the Bible, God.
I know what you mean. That in the Bible,
yeah.
God said that it's no use to love people who love you. You mean
No,
this?
no. There is like, you know, there is Sodom and Gomorrah, and I think this is Lot. He is arguing with God. He tells God wants to destroy the cities, and Lot says, "What if there are like 100 good people there? Will you not destroy?" And God says there are not 100. You know, so
Yeah.
Lot says, "Oh, what if there are 50? You know, he's negotiating with God. What if there are 50 good people there?" And God says, "No, there are not 50." And then he goes 40, 30, 20, you know. So I'm asking you, if there was a group of, you know, like they are like flying doctors. They're all kind of you know, women are, this is why I'm asking you, because women is how we can save the world. They are not, you know, in a way, you have a power as teacher, women leaders in you know, to really change so much. I'll send you later and something I wrote about this. But if there was a group of teachers in both sides, like, would you consider joining such a forum? Teachers both sides? No.
No. If I did it, I would consider myself to be a traitor of my motherland. You know, it would be difficult for me just to have a talk with the women who are widows because they left their husbands at this war. And what can I explain to people whose husbands came to our land armed, who came to our land rape, torture, kill, and just devastate the country? You know, Sharon, every time I just say a prayer, I ask God, give us peace and just take away these people and send them to their native land. I don't curse them. I don't wish them anything bad, nothing bad. I just want them to leave our land and let us live peacefully here because it's our motherland. We have no other place to go. And I suppose, and I see that there is no use to speak to people who don't understand your language, who think that they are right, that they are doing great things because they are just here to kill Ukrainian nation, yeah, and to just to have territory for themselves. It's my point of view, and I suppose that I am right because I just want to live peacefully and to have my friends and relatives, to have them alive.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if there were any Russian teacher in this group, I would not participate here because I have no desire, just to avoid speaking to them. And in this case, we lost a lot of relatives who live in Moscow, yeah. And they just, at the beginning of the war, they phoned and persuaded us that we were wrong because their country is right and they were just doing great things as they told us and explained to us. But in fact, we have our point of view and I'm just staying on my own position.
Yeah, I can see your point, your challenge. I see your challenge. Unless Robert want to add something, or Uri, I'd like to share something I wrote, like, so, like, I think there are things that are bigger than us in life. Are you okay with us talking about this, Robert, or like?
No, as long as Svetlana is okay with it, and
Are you
you
okay
feel
with
it's fine.
you know, like, see yourself as Svetlana. Are you okay with it?
Yeah.
I see things that are bigger than us on a cosmic level. Like, we are fish in the water, right? We can move our muscles, but the currents, they are those to take us. And this same goes with, you know, like, ideologies, right? And I think what moves President Putin is, it's not his tanks or his airplanes, it's the ideological currents of the old Soviet Union. So he's stuck there in this prejudice and ideas, and these old ideologies, they will disappear, you know, because currents, you know, new currents all the time arrive. This is how we take the good in East and West, you know, and put them together. The good in capitalism and socialism, and we put them together. And I think when an ideological current is in danger of extinction, he will fight, you know, with whatever it has remained to defend himself. This is like a defense mechanism. So maybe this is part of the circle of life, you know, like, if you look about the human race, it's always about epochs of war and between wars. It's like ideological currents that appear and extinct. I mean, could we define, maybe you have an idea, Robert or Svetlana, Uri, but could we define humanity in like retrospective or for future imagery, not of epochs, eras of war and between war? Could we have a different frame for that? Like, how would it be? Maybe you have an idea to share, because
yeah, I can give a reflection if that's okay. And while Svetlana was sharing, I was also wondering, there must be mothers like Svetlana in Russia, and who have also very mixed feelings because they lose their relatives too. And like was said, basically we all want to live in peace, right? We all want to be in harmony, and all kinds of things that are happening. For me, it comes back to our level of consciousness, and what I sensed from, and I hope I can translate it well, Svetlana. If you are on the thread, and you know, I can't possibly speak for you, but I'm trying to sort of paint a picture. At some point, membranes open and close, and in these kind of situations, when your membrane closes, it's a big challenge to sort of open it up again. It takes time. It takes healing. And that's an aspect that also is a very important part of the process, you know, in our evolutionary process, that we have a lot of wounds, and they also need caring and healing before we can even get to this next level of consciousness, that we can overcome these barriers.
Yeah, but no, I don't know, with modern medicine we can even make wounds to recover and heal faster, you know, because this is same with technology is an extension of our consciousness. We can learn.
But I'm talking more about the spiritual and the cultural
psychological wounds.
Psychological wounds.
I suppose that medicine is just powerless here. Yeah, And if you tell to me that, for example, a time is needed or something like this, yeah, maybe in some years, but if you, for example, put a nail in a fence and you try to take it away, here is left a hole, yeah, and no medicine can help you. And you know that maybe, Sharon, I told you that I am a widow and I lost my husband 8 years ago. And if you try to persuade me to have a kind of a conversation with a man who did the car accident, I would never agree to do it, because this man is an enemy to me. I wish him nothing bad, but I don't wish to meet face to face with him. Yeah, it's my trauma for the whole life. And no medicine, no cutting edge technologies, nothing can help here.
Okay. So let's put this topic aside. Really, thank you so much for being open and open-minded, or also open in your heart and sharing your thoughts. And it's okay to you know, to be vulnerable. This is something we sometimes we feel so afraid to admit that we are alone, we are lonely, we are vulnerable, that we are afraid, we are traumatized. But it's more than okay to be like that. It's part of the human condition. We're all traumatized and hurt in life. Maybe Robert, you want to go to the next slides, put some energy, new energy. You know, Svetlana, Einstein formula is L equals mc squared, because L is the strongest form of energy in the world. L, love, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe brief thanks to give space for it. You know, there's lots of stuff to say. I mean, we just focused here on 3 goals, but if you take a look at zero hunger, 30% of our food is wasted, right? So basically, if we are able to redistribute these resources, we can already do a lot, you know. And it also goes for people who are homeless. About 15% of the space that we have is owned by people who don't use the space. It's empty. So I know there's a lot of, you know, restrictions in that, because it's not that easy, and we all have to deal with legalities and stuff. But it does mean that the options are there, the possibilities are there, but the barriers are keeping us from using the resources.
This I can picture, Robert, because we hear a lot about the UBI and UBS, Universal Basic Services, like free education, free transportation, housing, and you know. So with those basics, there are 6 basic services, I believe. To start with, I can see this happening by 2050. I can see that happening. You know, free electricity. So,
and it's not only about providing people with the basic needs. We're also talking about psychological safety. You know, it's a small or a big personal paradigm shift if you are taken care of, if you have free health care, and you know you will be treated you know, accordingly if you get ill or something. And the same goes if you have shelter or a house, or you can travel freely. It also provides psychological safety, so we feel that we are regenerated instead of being sort of drawn.
You know, it's funny because, you know, I'm posting a lot of videos lately and I was thinking about, you know, the development of AI.
Yeah.
So just a quick joke, like why did the humanoid cross the street? To get to the other circuit board in the other side, or the charging place. But I was asking ChatGPT about like just like having a like a discussion about how many facial expressions do we have, how many muscles and how many emotions, and then it came on me, wait, humanoids could have more muscles, more facial expressions, become more empathic than us, and train us toward love. This is amazing. Just thinking about humanoids, they could have more expressions, you know, like, I mean, like they don't own emotions, you know, to cloud the judgment, you know, and then like to wound their hearts and hate or be traumatized. They can help us come up with decisions based on logic. They can help us create a more rational, empathic society. So I see, for example, AI as an extension of our consciousness, like great allies for us. I don't know if you agree with me on that. For us to fix our society, to cure our all the damage that wars have left in our hearts and minds. What do you have to say in regard?
Yeah, I can reflect first. If the others also want to, please do. But yeah, I can see what you're saying, or I can see your point. You know, with artificial intelligence, we can have the ability at least to process all this information that is out there and channel it and sort of see what should or could be the best option or solution to implement. I'm not saying that AI should take the decisions for us. No, of course not. I think humans always will be and need to be in the driver's seat and have the final say. But it would be great if, with the help of AI, we can pull together, filter from all this information and knowledge we have and wisdom, and have an overview like, okay, these are the most sensible decisions to make, and then it's up to us, do we go for it or not, or do we alter it or whatever. So I do think that it can help us a lot also with decision making, you know, or governance models. It can be helpful. So I think that's one part, but it's not everything, of course, just a small part. Like technology is important and the other parts also are important.
Do you think that 5 years down the road, each and every one of us will have like an AI friend, like, you know, humanoid? Just like mobile phones.
Yeah. I think what I've seen so far, that it is going pretty fast. It develops like a lot of things in technology exponentially. But I already know that you can go to a studio, you can sort of recreate sort of a clone of yourself by answering a lot of questions, reading out a lot of stuff, and you are filmed from different directions. And basically you see a projection of the other you that has sort of the particular, but of course the intuitive part that will not be there, and also because that is what makes us unique, and I think that will always sort of keeps the human special from artificial intelligence. But I do see the relevance of it for sure.
Okay, Uri, anything you want to say? I mean, we have less than 10 minutes, and just
yeah. Sorry, this is dinner time, so now I got to clean the table enough, and there is less noise, and I think I want to, just before I speak to the AI thing, I want to circle back to Ukraine, and I had a similar experience, you know, so I have very dear friends, Ukrainian, that are doing Theater of the Oppressed, very courageous work, built a beautiful network of using theater to create dialogue, also in very difficult situations right now. And I was supporting them in a Zoom call. And in the Zoom call came someone from Russia that I know personally and appreciate. And she actually left Russia during the war now because she didn't want to be involved. But when that became known, the people from Ukraine asked her to not be there. Then she was revealing herself and she left. And it was hard for me, and I think it was hard for some of us in the room that has these ideals of peace to hear that. But I think it was also important to hear that. And I think the reason why it's important to hear that is that it's important to know that not everything is equal all the time. And right now, the situation in Ukraine is that Russia is the big player here, is the one that is conquering. And in that situation where the violence is happening and the oppression is happening, you cannot ask the oppressed or the one under the knife to you cannot demand its empathy for the oppressor side. And even though the allies on the other side are essential in a way for a resolution, but that's easy from the witness perspective or from the non-involved perspective. And to empathize is to bring yourself into understanding. I think the other aspect is to recognize that this submission process has been going on for years, and between men and women. Even the love symbols that we saw there, you know, where they come from, it's a butt, yeah, it's a woman's butt upside down. That's the silhouette of the love symbol, you know, the heart. And of course, it's both saying a lot, but also saying, I think it's about how do we bring healing to something that has been going on for a very long time, and where do we make sense of this, but then also meet people where they are, and respect, you know, Ukrainian or Palestinians that don't want to speak about peace when they are under the threat, the direct threat. But say, you know, and Svetlana said it, and I appreciate it. Like maybe with time, not now. And I think that's important for us as not involved or involved as in another perspective to listen to. So thank you for that. And to go to the AI, I had a conversation with an AI about collective trauma with the same ChatGPT. He was actually telling me that he gave some ideas how AI can help with collective trauma, but he also said in the response that human beings are essential in that process, you know, because we cannot ask AI to heal us for us, you know, it wouldn't work, you know. The human element is essential, you know, because, you know, AI can support the process of all sorts of things. And is there a personal AI in the future? There is already a personal AI. We all have an AI spy from Facebook and an AI spy or replicate created by Google and others for reasons of you know, all the reasons that we know, whether we like it or not. Now, I think what's happening with the OpenAI is that we reveal the magic. The magic has been revealed, and we can take it out of the box, and maybe we can, you know, learn this new technology more openly. And I think it's really important that we learn it, so we know how to use it, because it is a technology. It's not a thing on its own, in a way that helps us to bring us to where we're supposed to be in the future, and not just stay in the cycles of re-wounding and re-violenting, but also recognizing that it cannot do the work for us. It can do some work for us, but not the whole work, you know. That I'm pretty convinced in that, especially
Go ahead.
So that's my perspective on AI. But I've been playing with that, and I think as many people, and I've been learning a lot about myself through it. And I thought that was refreshing. Oh, you know, I'm learning a lot about myself through my exchange with this artificial intelligence. Like, oh, that's interesting. I can learn about myself through talking with something like that, you know. And I think that's interesting.
That's cool. Robert, have you been also been playing with ChatGPT, just to exploring and?
Yeah, I tried it a couple of times, and it is fascinating. So I just asked the AI chatbot, do you think our current economic and governance systems are sustainable? Or and it actually sort of gave us an answer: no, not for future generations, and it was not ethical even to continue with the systems and models that we have now. So yeah, so
Well,
that made a lot of sense.
all that thought, because this is really interesting. Let's are you okay to reconnect and continue this conversation about playing, experiencing ChatGPT? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll stop this second part.
Sharon, I just want to say that I have to get ready for tomorrow's lesson, and I have no opportunity to rejoin you again.
Okay, so thank you, Svetlana, for being here with
Thank you.
us.
Thanks.
And it
Thank
has
you.
been really an eye and heart opener to see you are so honest and sharing with us. And
Thank you.
and yes,
Much
see you-
gratitude and much
yeah,
love,
much-
Svetlana.
much-
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. See you. Bye bye.
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 Okay.